Welcome back to Wrenches in Motion, where if it ain't broke, I ain't buying it. And today we're going to be working on my wife's 2006 Honda Element. It's due for inspection, so we've got to do front pads and rotors, rear pads and rotors, and then we got some upgrades. So I'll show you that in a second. But what I wanted to say is, if you have subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. If you want to, leave a comment as to what drew you into it. Was it something I was working on that will help you specifically? Because that's pretty much it. I don't have a sense of humor. I'm not, an entertaining type person, but I do like to work on cars, so I figured I'd film everything. All right, let's get started. Let me show you what I got. So in the box, we've got the cell phone holder, which of course you got to have. I'm going to mount that right here. Yeah, I thought I needed that. I don't need that hole in that side because I don't need the plug. We already discussed that it's wireless. So I've got a brake pad, like for the pedal. Fits a lot of different Hondas. I don't know if I'm going to use it in here or not, but we got one. They're like $7. I figured I'd order it. And then we are going to be replacing the speakers with these Pyle 3-ways, which, I'm not spending a lot of money, but I'll tell you what, it's going to sound a whole lot better than it does with these. So let's get working on swapping out this first one, shall we? All right, so obviously the first step is going to be get this speaker cover off. It just pops out usually. Come on, there we go. Oh, you see all the pieces of the speaker falling. We'll get this thing out of here, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Sorry about the inside of the car being such a mess. I got home from New York at like 10:30 last night. Then I had work to do this morning, so I couldn't do anything. So I'm finally out here now. Get this thing off of here. There we go. Take a look at that. I mean, how is that even working? So, total junk. Garbage. So we got our new Pyle speaker right here. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to drop this in there. And then now... Okay, well, I don't know if you remember the Kenwoods I put in the orange element right there. The big one fit okay, the little one did not fit. So let's see how it works on the Pyles. Big one fits. And the little one fits. Great. I'll just plug it in and figure out which way it goes. Is there a specific way? Yep. All right. Now all we gotta do is mount it. So of course none of the holes are gonna line up. And there comes the fun part. If you remember with the Kenwood, we were screwing it and I put the screw bit right through the speaker. They still sound okay, but since this is for the wife, I want to do this the right way. So I think what that's gonna involve is they give you these. If I can get in here. So they give you these little things, and you slide these on, you run the screw through the speaker into here, and that grabs the head of the speaker and holds it in there. So we got to mark 3 locations. Maybe drill a hole so the screw will go into the metal here instead of the plastic, and then we'll put these in. Okay, now that the choppers are done flying over, let's set this in here and see if we can make it sit flat, which it doesn't want to. What is that? Oh, we got little plastic feet sticking out. Well, we have a fix for that. here. There we go. This one. Perfect. All right, now let's see if it'll sit flat. No, not exactly. Close enough. There's it, close enough. Oh, this is a little bit deeper. Oh, I might have to cut some of that out. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about in here. Get you off the tripod. I'll try to do this smooth motion. So this back here is what is hitting the magnet, which I don't know why, because this seems like it's a lot deeper. So maybe it's not hitting that. Unless it's hitting this edge. In that case, we're not going to bother. Oh, we can't use their little things either because of the way the plastic's designed. Okay, so we may stick to the other plan and just screw it in with these big old screws and hope it stays. Well, slight change of plans. We used 3 of the screws that they provided, and they went right in the holes, screwed into the plastic. So now what I want to do is grab this, get some of the dog fur off of it, and see if that'll fit back on there. Hopefully it will. There we go. And just like that, one is done. Now, we'll turn our attention to the back, and the same process. Well, sorry I didn't film it, but actually it went so quick, it was just like boom and done. So, yeah, pop this on. All right, one side done. I'm not gonna show you the other side because it's gonna be the same thing. So the next thing to do is gonna be the wheels and tires. And also what I got is hidden right now. I got one of these that I put in the orange element, which you can't see right now because it's all in the bag. But inside of here is, besides made in China, it shows battery voltage, and it's got a couple chargers on it, so that's going to be really nice. So I put that in the orange one. I'm going to put that in here, and you know, hook the wife up a little bit, I think. Some of the things we got to do today, we've got our new front pads and rotors because these are trash. I don't know if you can get in there. You can see how bad the rotors are, maybe. This light is like super bright. Maybe you can see it better. Anyway, these were making a noise. Like I said, I just drove it back from New York, and it almost sounded like a loose wheel or a wheel bearing or something. But what I believe it is just high spots on the rotors hitting the pads. I've got new rear pads and rotors ordered. They're not here yet. Something else we're going to do today is I rigged up the backup camera just to work, and it does, but the problem is twofold. First, I can't unlock the door. I've got to get this wire hidden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the plate off, drill a hole in here, put a grommet in there, and run the wire through the grommet so you never even see it. It's going to come out on the inside, probably under here somewhere, and I'll just fish it around, and you know, it's hidden the rest of the way, so we'll just put it over there or something. Another thing I'm going to do is the camera won't come on automatically. You have to turn it on. So I'm going to take a signal from the backup light and run it back up to the radio and hook that up. Yeah, I read that in the instructions after I put everything back together. So once again, take everything out, take the radio out, do all that stuff again. Not a big deal. Let's see what else we're gonna do. So I'm gonna clean this thing out because I got all my junk in there still. Inside here, these LEDs, they might look cool, but they're kind of hard to see because they're real dark. So the plan is to replace those with a different color of blue. It's called ice blue. It's a lighter blue. I wanted to keep the blue because of the blue element. So we're going to do that. Those should be here today, I think. Same thing with the rotors. Well, I guess I'm going to record this. It's not really that big of a deal, but since we're here, drop the bolt out of the way. I'll just throw that down. So we've got our grommet, and I'm thinking if we go right here, it should be okay. I just hope I can grab it on the other side. It should be able to, I think. Let me just double check real quick. Pretty sure that I can get there. Yep, if I go just to the right of it. Plenty of room. Alright, wish me luck. Alright, we got our hole drilled. We got our little grommet here. Hope we got the right size drill bit. I thought we did. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. I can see that already. Let me get a small screwdriver, pop that grommet in real quick. Alright, grommet's in place. Let's see if this will feed through, which it should. There we go. I don't know about all these stickers, but I'm gonna try to pull this thing up a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna need something else. I'm gonna need to get a these and a flashlight because I can't see in there. We'll see. Coming? Oh, there we go. Let's feed some more wire in there. Don't want to do anything too crazy. What are all these things? Let me try to feed those tags through there because I don't know if they're going to go or not. Well, I sprayed some chain lube on there, and sure enough, it came through. So I think I still need to pull some of this if I can get it. I know it's close. Oh. There we go. Ow. That's not the easiest thing in the world to pull out. But we got her. Alright. Going to throw this plate back on. Help me put it on the right way. I really want that to go down. Under that. I'll take that. Come on. There we go, there's one side. Just like that. Okay. That part of the install is done. Now, come out here. Plug this back into here. Tuck that in there. I'm going to take this cover off, and then I'll put the back piece on, put this back in, and I think we'll be done with this part of it. And if you didn't know, if you lift up the handle, there's a screw right here that you need to take out. And this whole plastic piece. Should come out. This should lift off. Of course, it's not going to because I want it to. Just like that. Take this off. Grab your back piece. And this is always fun to get back on. Okay, so to put this on, take the cables off, and then you can slide it on. Just get this out of your way, because that's just going to be in the way. And then we'll take this. I'm going to go clean this first. It's full of trash. And then we'll pop that on, put the handle on, and the back will be done. And I don't think my wire is going to be here today. It might be. So I don't really want to take the tail light out right now, because I got to run the wire. So for now, we're just going to call this as being done. Okay, I know the lighting sucks. We're just going to take out these. I believe they're 12s. We'll see if we can get the caliper off and the pads, and then we'll do the bracket, and then we'll attack the rotors. Something else I want to check on these calipers is make sure that the pins are free. The sliders. Oh, that's on there. Come on. Ah, I didn't bring anything to pry with, did I? Nope, I sure didn't. Alright, so I don't know if you can get a good look at these rotors or not. Oh, there we go. Alright, good deal. Calipers off. Set that over there. Get these pads out of here. Let's have these anti-rattle things. Those are real fun to put back in. Oh my gosh, those are terrible. Alright, what do we need? 17s for those, I believe. Yep. I don't know if I can get in there with this. I may have to do these manually. You probably get the bottom one. I don't know about the top one. Oh yeah. Alright. Bottom one. Oh, maybe it's the bottom one I can't get. Yeah, we'll do that manually. Great. Okay, we'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back with our manual. And check this out here. Oh my gosh. Why is it on there so bad? That is tough. I don't remember putting it on there that hard. Oh, jeez. Really? Okay, more leverage, I guess. Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna come back for that. Holy cow, now I'm dizzy. So we had to use the old foot wedge to get that thing off of there. Holy cow, that thing was on there. I have no idea how that got so tight. But, there we go. Now the pads themselves have plenty of life. Pins, well, yeah, pins are free, so that's good. This here though, I'm gonna take you over here and show you this. This is bad and you can't really see it in that light. Hang on, we're going for a ride. All right, here we go. Whoops. Like I said, here we go. And you can see how grooved those are. You can feel the grooves. It's got the lip on the edge. Same thing on the inside. It's not grooved as bad, but still, that's a pretty terrible rotor. All right, going for a ride. Hang on, coming back. Make sure you, oh, look out, you're falling. Sorry about that. Let me tighten up that screw here. All right, so now we're going to put the new rotor on, which is going to be accomplished simply by taking it out of the plastic. Yay. And giving it spray down front and back, get rid of all the oil from manufacturing. Well, not from manufacturing, but after manufacturing, to keep it from rusting. Throw this on here. Maybe. Alright. Oh, new rotor's on. We'll go ahead, we'll compress this caliper. You've seen that before. After we put these back in, I'm debating changing the stainless hardware. I probably will, just because. If I get the pads out, that is. That one's kind of stuck. Use the improper tool. Oh, why are you so stuck in there? Yeah, let's replace that hardware. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, you can see how much pad's left on those pads. If that made any sense. Yeah, let me go ahead. I'm going to change that stainless clips. And then grease them up, throw the pads in, throw this back on, squish the caliper, put the caliper back on, and this side will be done. I don't think you need to see that. We've been here before. Okay, well, that didn't go as planned. In the latest edition of why I don't usually replace these stainless clips, this is the kit for the Honda Element front. And if you look, new clip versus the old clip, look at the size difference. That opening in the new clip is so much bigger than the other one. That's no way it's going to work. So, back to the old clips and the old way of doing it. Just wire wheeling them, cleaning them, greasing them, and putting them back in. Thank you, Centric. This is a Centric ceramic pad. BS hardware. Alright, well, I'm going to feel really dumb right about now. I got these rotors. I've had them around for a while, and I had them labeled as Element front, but I couldn't get the caliper bracket over the rotors. So I just looked it up, and those are actually Pilot front rotors, not Element front rotors. So now I've got another set of rotors in the garage that I have labeled as Pilot front. I'm going to go check those and see if those are actually Element fronts. Well, look at that. The rotors for the Element actually fit the Element. Yep, turns out I had mismarked them. That's what I get for having so many parts laying around here. The ones I had marked Pilot were for Element, and the ones I had marked for Element were for Pilot. So swap them around. Rotor went on. Yeah, we're just going to tighten up those 2 bolts for the caliper bracket, and then we're going to squeeze the caliper together and put the caliper on, and this side will be done. How about that? Although I may take a wire wheel and get rid of some of this rust just because. Kind of picky. Alright, well, a few seconds later, we've got the new rotors on. I'm going to leave the rest until tomorrow where I can actually see. Here's the rotors that came off. I'm sure you can see how nasty they are, especially that bottom one there. This side, I mean, there's stuff on there. Anyway, they're shot. So, I'm glad I'm replacing these. Look how much pad is left. There's a ton of pad left on there. But, unfortunately, we're not going to be using those. Or fortunately, actually, we got our new Ray Bestis brakes here. Gonna throw those over there so we can do all that tomorrow. And I think that's it for today. I'm gonna pick up these boxes, throw them in the recycling, throw that in the garbage, pick up the tools, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Okay, I know you're not gonna be able to see much, but there's really not a whole lot to see. Pads are in. I'm just going to smush the caliper back in. There's a piston for the caliper anyway. The other side went right in nice and easy. I'm expecting this side to do pretty much the same. You just get it in there. And that'll be the hard part. There you go. Let's get it in there. They're all lined up. Nice tight. Give this a crank. And all we're doing is pushing the piston back in so that it'll fit over the new thicker pads. Yeah, just take a look here, see how we're doing. Oh, it's turning right in. I like it. You're one-handed. Alright. There we go. Get this out of here. Sorry, I know you can't see a thing over there. But here's our newly squished caliper. And these are really tight for some reason. It's like they could have made the brake hose about 2 inches longer. It would have been a whole lot better. Well, perhaps if we got the pads in, maybe the caliper would go on. Oh, come on. Plus, it's kind of getting dark. It's really hard to see. Oh, come on. Okay, so once again, those are in there. Oh, there you go. Caliper goes right on now. Alright, so I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to take you off the tripod so I can show you what's going on. What you got to be careful with these. So hang on, we're going for a ride. Alright. So I know this is really bright, and I'm trying to do this, trying to hold the light with one hand, which is not going to work. So let's go back to dim. So these things right here, they will spin, and there's flat spots on the caliper, and these have to line up with the flat spots. So that's probably got to get rotated about, oh, I don't know. Oh, maybe there's none on these. I think there is. It's got to be like about that. I know you really can't see. So why am I bothering? We're just going to throw it back together. And yeah, after this, we'll do a little touch-up paint, throw the wheels back on, and we're done with the brakes. All right, yeah, I know I said I was going to leave it. I can't leave it alone. So, brakes are done, painting's done. My wire that I thought was supposed to be here today, I remember I changed the delivery date to Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So I'm not going to be able to run the wire, which is okay. I guess I catch a break on the Element for now. If you were here, you would have been listening to Realign by Godsmack. And of course, you're not here and I can't play it aloud, so I just had to listen to it by myself, you know, out here just rocking away. Alright, that's it for the Element for tonight. Alright, so I know it's dark. We'll turn on the light real quick. Maybe. There we go. That's not the right one. There we go. Alright. So we took the cluster out. We replaced the dark blue LEDs with some ice blue, which are supposed to be lighter in color. The dark blue is really hard to see at night. So we just put the cluster in real quick. That connector is all you need. You don't need this connector in over here to see the lights. And if we turn it on, okay, we see we've got a couple backwards over here, one backwards over here on the gas gauge, and both of them are backwards on the mileage. So let's swap those around and be back in a second and see how we do. So if we flip it over, it looks like this one, and that one are backwards. So the easy way to do this, loosen it up, take it out, flip it 180 degrees, drop it back in, because LEDs are polarized. Polarity? Anyway, they only work one way. So, by the way, this is real tedious to do with one hand. Little strap from the cameras getting in the way. And then we tighten it back up, and that's it. So we're going to do these two, and then these two down here. And we'll be back in a second. Alright, we got them flipped around. Now, let's see what happens. We still don't have anything for the mileage. What is going on with that? So all the outside ones are working. The mileage, for some reason, none of those want to work. Okay, can I officially feel dumb? Okay, you turn it on, you get all the lights, and then you step back and you go, huh, why isn't the mileage working? And you turn the key on and there it is. So, There we go. We have replaced the lights with LEDs. I did ice blue on the sides, and I used white for the mileage indicator, which actually comes out blue, and it actually matches pretty good. Okay, now I'll put this back together. There's 4 screws for the cluster. This cover just pops on. There's a screw that goes in the side, and then that cover goes on. And this will be buttoned up over here. One of the other things I got to do is I've got to replace that climate control bulb right there, which is out, which I already knew about. So when I take off that whole center console cluster area, this thing here, to run the wire for the backup for the radio, I can replace that bulb, and we should be good to go. I don't know if I want to paint this black like I did on the orange element, or just leave it silver. Probably just leave it silver. Alright, yet another day on the element. So I looked here. This is the reverse light, and the green and black wire is what I was going to get the trigger from. And I thought, man, I'm going to run it through there, and then I got to take this plastic out to try to run it up. I said, what if I took a look in here, and this wire harness that goes through here, sure enough, has a green and black wire. So I stripped a little of it back, put the meter on there, and that is my reverse trigger right there. So instead of having to pull all that plastic out, I just had to pull the sill plate. So we're going to hook a wire there, run it up in, and hook it up, and we'll have our trigger for our backup camera. Now the only question is, do I want to take the seat out, make everything easier, or just leave it? I think I'm just going to leave it in. Okay, we got the trigger wire soldered in, and let's see what happens. Hopefully this comes on. Let me kill the light here real quick. There we go. And there it is. We've got a backup camera. And you don't have to turn it on. It comes on automatically when you put it in reverse. Sweet. Okay. So now that we've got that done, a couple other things we're going to do, which, I don't know. First thing is we're going to replace this light bulb in here with a LED. So that's real fun to get to. It's up underneath here. It's kind of in a bad spot, but we got that covered. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to put the voltage indicator and charging port right here. And I don't know what else. I think those are the last 2 things to do. So let's get started with that. To put that in, you're going to need the hole saw. We got one right here. This is a Lennox. It is a 1 1/8, and that's what you need for, not those. That's what you need for this thing right here. So there we go. So I've got the actually I'll just show you. Let me kill this light real quick. Let's take a look. Oh, I know the other thing we have to do. That climate control bulb. Okay. So I have to shut the door now every time, because in that corner on top of the orange microfibers, birds were bringing leaves and sticks in and starting to build a nest there. Like, no, I don't think so. Alright, so we got the broken welder. What we're going to do is from the back side, we're going to figure out where this goes. We're going to drill a hole here. This is a climate control bulb that's out. Flip it around. It's going to be that one right there. And those are these right here. You can buy these new from Honda for like $3.50 to $4 a piece. Or I bought a pack of 10 bulbs for like $1 something. And that's what you do. You just run them in here, hook them up, and it should be easy. I'm going to test it before I put it in, obviously. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out where this thing's got to go. And we'll make a mark here and then drill it from the back side. And to do that, it's easy enough. If you take off the screw portion here, the part that holds it in, set that in there till you get it like centered where you want it. Just mark a hole in the center and drop it in. The reason I'm putting this in is so that I can figure out that I can still turn it to tighten it up. Make sure we've got enough room to get in there. And that looks perfect. So we'll mark that, we'll drill it, and we'll get started. We've got our hole drilled. And we drop this in here real quick. See how nice it fits. And now let's throw the screw on the back side, bolt that thing in, and then we'll worry about that climate control bulb. So I'm trying to run the wires for the voltmeter and stuff that we just drilled the hole for. And look at this. And I don't know if you can see, like, way in there, there's a bunch more I've just got to get out. Mr. Mouse decided he wanted to make a home in here, which happens in the New York winter when you just, you know, leave your car and don't drive it. So we'll work on getting all this crap out of here, all this mouse house, and then yeah, and then we'll see about finishing it up. Ugh, look at all the dog fur. Now, I thought I cleaned this thing before, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is getting the air compressor and the air nozzle and just blowing the crap out of this thing. Well, the fur anyway. Alright, let's continue getting this mouse house out of here. Now, with the subwoofer out of the way, you can clearly see the mouse house in there. Oh, that's a whole lot bigger than you would think. Wow. You got like a peach pit in there. You see the mouse poopy. Ugh. Okay, so I don't know what the insulation was for, but they were sure having fun with it. Okay, now we're clean. Now, we go get the air compressor and air nozzle. Let's start blowing this thing out. Okay, well, you're probably wondering, you've probably never even seen a light in here, because most of them burn out early. There's 4 clips, and I don't know if you can see them, but anyway, they're in here. Like, there's one, there's 4 of them that this thing snaps onto. And if you're real careful, you can get a flat blade screwdriver in there, pry it out a little bit, and pop it 1 clip at a time. Don't do anything crazy. Then you get this loose. Excuse me. This thing goes in the side here, under here. Excuse me. Ugh. It's a real pain. Anyway, the bulb's been replaced with a LED. We're going to pop that in, pop this cover back on. I've already tested this. It works. I haven't tested that yet because I haven't plugged it in, but we will shortly. Excuse me. And then I'm going to bolt in the radio. And I think this thing's going to be done. Oh, I got to hide this wiring too. So, oh, and the cover for this. And then clean it out, of course. And I think that's all I wanted to do to this thing. This may be a successful trip after all. Well, I was going to call this a wrap on this video. However, I just went to go somewhere and I noticed that I had no blinkers and no hazards. So look in the fuse box here. And this fuse right here is for the hazards, and it's good. So that's not it. I looked under the dashboard in that fuse box, and forgive the mess, I've really got to clean this thing up. Right here it says turn light. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. Yeah, turn light. Alright, check that fuse. That fuse is good. And notice there's no relays listed on here at all. Well, the relay is number 4. And if you look at it, you're like, well, what relay is number 4? Because if you don't know, you'll never figure it out. But that big one way on the end is number 4. I guess it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, counting from the left going to the right. And the way I found that out is I went to the other element, put the hazards on, and I can feel this relay clicking. So I knew this is the right relay. So let me pull that relay out. I'll swap this one in and see if it works. As you can tell, I've already pulled the dash apart, make sure I plugged in the hazard switch because I've done that before. All right, let me get in here and get this thing swapped out and we'll see what happens. All right, we got our relay swapped. Let's see what happens when we push the button. Absolutely nothing. Well now, isn't this exciting? What in the heck is going on? Oh, the only thing now I could say is it's the hazard switch itself. So let me pull that out of the orange one. And we'll come over here and swap that in and see what it does. Well, I was going to take this switch out and, well, it decided it wanted to break in half. And there's the other part right there. So there's the other part. There's this part. So that's no bueno. I just plugged this in and the hazards came on. So that's definitely the problem. Now we got to get a new one of these. But for now, I'm going to take this out, pop this one in. And for the orange one, I guess we'll see if we can find a new hazard switch. I know there's one of these in the junkyard. And I was going to try to get this for this car there. No, I'm not. I'm just going to leave it with the hole in the side there because I don't really care. So I'm not going to go get the switch there. I'll just order it on eBay. And yeah. Oh, I got to go order front calipers because the caliper on the driver's front decided it wanted to lock up and then free itself. So yeah, exciting times there. Alright, so we are back again. Hopefully it fixed one of the last things. The seatbelt. We know the seatbelt thing works because the light on the dash goes off when you click your seatbelt. But the airbag is still saying faulty driver seatbelt switch. So we got like a bunch of fur in here. There's some fur we took out of it already. I think this here is the switch for when you put the seatbelt in. And it only happened after I squirted some WD-40 inside here because it would not, it didn't want to release the seatbelt. Yeah, there's clicked and it won't unclick. Great. What's over here? Nothing I can see. But let's I'm gonna play around with this thing now that I fully broke it, and we'll see if we can fix something. So I just happen to have another another one. It's even gray. This one works, but I think this gives the same airbag fault. So I think I'm going to take this apart and see if I can figure out how to put that back together the right way. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Well, we cleaned it, cleared the codes. It didn't come back, so let's try it again here real quick. And it went out again. Okay. But you notice what did not come on was the seatbelt unbuckled sign. So I don't care about that. Okay, let's do it one more time just to be sure. Because with my luck, it's going to come on right before inspection. Alright, well maybe that was it. Maybe there's a little bit of grease in there or something from the WD-40. I don't know. But we'll take this as a win. Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed our time with the 2006 Honda Element. Brought it down, we did like pads and rotors, front and rear. Put the radio in, hooked up the backup camera. We just might have fixed the airbag issue. We added the light bulb to the shift indicator. We put in the dual C charging ports with the voltage indicator. Changed the LEDs in the dash to ice blue, which I think look a lot better. We fixed the climate control bulb. Pretty much basic things. I did want to say though, when I took it for a drive, the left front caliper was hanging up. So I just ordered new calipers. Those will get here, put the calipers on it, get it inspected, and get it back up to New York where it belongs. Until next time, keep the wheels down and keep your wrenches in motion.